Alright, top 15 live stream. I'm gonna turn down some of my face cam. There we go. Oh, no. Oh, what's that? So, top 15. Top 15. Templates. Fishy, Diggy Marco, what's up? Alright, the live version. There's a live version. Alright, here's the live version.
Surprised at this bold reaction, but then it quickly blends into its surroundings again and regains the upper hand.
Hey, 10. What's going on?
Eventually, it's spotted again a few more times as it prowls along the trail close by. The two eventually end up staring at each other from a short distance. As the showdown comes to a tense close, the mountain lion seems unsure and
oh, it's a mountain lion. I thought it was a panther.
It may have lost for now, but in another year or two,
I'm
sure the animal would have undoubtedly grown into a much larger threat.
Yeah, it's a mountain lion. I thought it was a I thought it was a
is a YouTuber who has been experiencing
what the heck?
all sorts of strange paranormal activity throughout their home. Sometimes it's something simple like a potted plant wobbling on its own, and sometimes it's
there's like ghosts. There's like ghosts. What the heck? That is weird. Okay, Ethan. What?
Skelly 11 claims that this is a poltergeist, and after
you gotta go?
viewing this video, I have to agree.
Okay, bye.
There's just too much going on at once to easily fake this, in my opinion, and I see no indication that this is
how,
a setup.
dude? That's
if this is real, or if you have a better
10. I said, hey, what's up?
Number 7. McJuggernuggets is a famous
McJuggernuggets, I watch him.
Comes home one day only to find evidence of a serious break-in. Some of his
Michael,
possessions
I watch
are
McJuggernuggets.
Things that he is sure were in his room earlier before.
Somebody took the hard drive. Hard drive to what? All my behind the scenes.
Oh, he's behind the scenes. That's a huge rip to his behind the scenes. That's a huge rip.
He argues with his father for a bit about the likelihood of someone breaking in, but the security video does not lie.
Hold on, here it comes.
Sure enough, some stranger cases the house by knocking on the door a few times, even going so far as trying the knob. Soon he uses a long tool to pry open a window and reaches inside to quickly scoop up a nearby hard drive before taking off.
He just broke into the window.
Much to McJuggernuggets' amazement, the window was right next to his bed. He soon comes to the sickening realization that this person, who was perhaps a stalker, literally reached into his room to retrieve a hard drive full of unedited video content.
That's a huge rip to his behind the scenes. That's a huge rip.
Number 6. Michael Eidelstein recorded this bizarre encounter.
How does it keep dialing numbers? Even though he's not touching the screen.
People have agreed with him ever since.
Oh my gosh. Bro, that's so creepy.
What's really weird is how this phone apparently waits until Michael is almost finished recording and then hits a completely different number.
I was on my iPad. I was trying to scroll to the back to get on an app, and it kept scrolling back to the home screen, normal screen. I had to restart it.
I can't say for sure if this
and I got
is
on my nerves
or not, because it could just be a glitch or maybe even water on the screen. Let me know if you've ever had anything odd like this happen to your
I was actually I was spoofing Pokemon on my iPad. I found a shiny Pokemon. I went to set down my iPad, then it touched the bowl and milk got on it, but I did clean it off.
Skeleton 101 thinks he may have seen a monster lurking in his yard. The out-of-focus object looks like it could be a creature on all fours, but I'm just not sure. It doesn't really seem to be moving and could just easily be a pile of dirt. Whatever it is, it sends the skeleton.
Yeah, I know that's creepy.
Running back into his house in terror.
Why does my
seat
keep lowering?
If you think he was really in any significant danger at the time,
I would have ran inside and locked my doors.
Carter is making a YouTube video to show off his expensive new roof, but he accidentally catches something lurking inside his home during the process.
That's right. New roof. Shingles were delivered today. Old roof was torn off yesterday.
What is that?
Tomorrow.
I don't know what that was.
A giant, oversized face is staring directly at Carter. Through his
That's so
window
creepy.
on the left-hand side, you can see its eyes, mouth, and nose have been shaded perfectly to form a ghoulish expression. I've watched this video many times, and I still can't tell if this is truly the face of a ghastly creature or just a reflection of trees outside. If it is a reflection of a tree,
he's freaking lowering
I find
again.
it weird how the leaves or branches don't seem to be moving at all. It really does look like an unblinking face staring straight ahead.
Just stop.
Carter does not seem to notice.
I know, yeah, this is creepy. Like, how is that even possible?
Number 3. It's a rainy day in Bradford, Pennsylvania, and a YouTuber named Bulldog is with his girlfriend in the backyard.
That would creep me out.
Random videos and talking about nothing in particular. When they
He's just in a plane.
Something that makes them think they are not so alone after all.
Whoa. That was weird.
Was that a deer? I believe that was a deer.
The smoke or mist appears to briefly transform into the shape of a person, taking a few brisk steps.
It probably looked like a deer.
Bulldog says it looked like someone.
Yeah, it looks like a deer. It looks like a dog.
That it does resemble the upper torso.
Oh, I think it was a deer. I think I saw the head. It was a deer.
That said, it looks to me like the figure may also be lacking a head. Number 2. Papa Jake is returning to a haunted sewer tunnel that he explored once before. But this time it's 3 a.m. He and his friends think that a large sewer creature might be down there, so they bring a lot of extra equipment, like motion sensors and night vision, to capture it on video. Their first encounter happens not in the tunnel itself, but rather in the surrounding woods.
Something's in the nest! Something's in the magic! Something is in the nest!
What appears to be some type of humanoid creature scampers across the forest floor on all fours.
Yeah, it's still alive.
Only one of the 2 friends see it, so I guess he manages to convince himself that it was nothing, and they continue to press on. A short while later,
my seat keeps freaking lowering.
The tunnel. They are very deep inside when a strange and haunting moan convinces them to get out of there.
I gotta get in a chair. This one keeps moving now.
Noises coming from the same direction they just came from, so Papa Jake and his friend try to outrun the creature at a fast pace, taking blind turn after blind turn for a full 5 minutes. It isn't long before they find themselves wandering down an oversized pipe, completely lost. Whatever is chasing them, on the other hand, apparently knows every last twist and turn of this labyrinthian cesspit and finds them quickly.
True text mixer, what's up?
At this point, they all stopped recording to run for their lives. Papa Jake now feels he has sufficient evidence.
Probably after.
And I doubt he will ever go back there.
Oh!
As always, be sure to let me know if you think this is real.
Looks like a guy in underwear.
What you've seen. Their reactions all seem very genuine.
It looks like a Yeti.
The possibility of special effects. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills, and I hope you're enjoying my narration. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. I recently released a small mixtape, and I'd love to know what you think of it. Tap the circle icon in the top right corner, then tap my mixtape to give it a listen. It's also linked in the description below. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person. So if you're generous enough to hit
1.8 million subscribers. Wow, that's 1,800,000. So that's a lot of subscribers.
Of the new video I upload every Thursday. Number 1. Cryptid Hunter and 2 of his friends are returning to a cave that they believe to be haunted. This time they are using a paranormal investigative technique that I have never seen before. They bring dolls with them into the cave that they believe are already haunted. They want to see how the spirits in the dolls react to the spirits in the cave. They also use long, thin rods that the spirits can use to respond to questions.
Please point the rod to the most haunted doll that's inside his mind. There it goes again.
Then the spirits in the cave apparently decide to skip the rods and make their presence known in a much more physical way.
What the is that?
The smooth
Ring
cave
TV
walls
official
probably
channel, what's
have
up?
little traction, so the doll could have just fallen over on its own. Then again, maybe it was really pushed over by an unseen spirit. Clearly the doll somehow moved. So those are the only two explanations I have. Let me know which one you think it was.
Bro, I don't want to see.
Everyone has their own style of camping.
Okay.
Most people have an enjoyable time that they will cherish for years. But for a small percentage of campers, absolute horror is what they
is that?
find.
Oh, it's a bear.
Or
It's a bear.
just some of
There's a
their
lion.
Documented experiences. Ears are humans' first line of defense, capable of detecting danger from all sides well before our eyes notice. Most of the people in these
school
videos
bus.
were able to hear an ominous noise before it became too late. Others were not so lucky. Number 17. The Pipe. Damon and Sean are walking around outside when they come across a huge open sewer pipe in the middle of nowhere. They don't think much of it until something weird starts to happen.
I think there's like somebody down there. What the? Dude, it's creeping me out.
Sean goes to the other side of the pipe to see if he can determine the source of the banging. Soon, he comes back and says that he couldn't see anything on the other end.
Yeah, but usually there's like two at a time. See? Did you hear that?
If there is any technical reason for a sewer pipe to be banging in sets of two like that, then I'd like for someone to please explain. Otherwise, there's no way to tell who or what was making all that racket down there. Number 16. James hears a noise. A YouTuber named James Matthews recorded this video somewhere
It
in
was
the UK
X
after he
Bacon's
kept
idea. He wanted
hearing
me to
this
do this.
noise over and over again one day with no reasonable explanation.
I don't know when it started live. Started streaming.
It sounds to me like it could be some rusty piece of machinery.
August 5th.
James lives in
This
the
thing's
quiet
been live for a
countryside,
month.
and no farming equipment is big enough to sound like that.
There goes that
The
YouTube
noise
chat
seems
right
to
there.
take up the entire sky. Number 15. Primal Screams. A group of friends are hanging out late at night when a strange yelping sound brings them to a window to investigate.
Did you hear that? What the?
What the heck is
They
that?
start to argue about
Like,
if it sounds like
it
a
sounded like a
regular
girl's
animal in distress or some sort of rare and mysterious creature. Listen to these noises and tell me if this sounds like anything you've ever heard in the woods before. All of them soon start to feel uncertain about hanging around the open window and back away. I think it sounds like it could possibly be an animal that's being hunted, but I'm not sure. What do you think is happening? And would you be
I don't
brave
know
enough to
what-
go into
it's
the
probably
woods
an
and
animal.
find out? I wouldn't. Number 14, Bus 166. There's an old abandoned bus in the woods that's supposed to be haunted. According to legend, the school wanted to get rid of the bus after someone lost their life on the way home. It switched ownership a few more times before a ghost hunter purchased it for a low price. He's out randomly
I'll probably just tell
recording
her
it
when I'm
one
live
day
on
when all
YouTube,
of a
too.
sudden he hears this.
Super chat.
The man recording says that he does not have any children and that he is on his large wooded property all by himself. I will say that the voice does sound like it's coming from inside of the bus, or at least someplace close. I guess he could have a daughter or something who is hiding inside, but probably not. Then, as he is walking closer to the bus, he suddenly hears this very clearly. This could be a prank, but it could also be the ghost of a girl who does not know that she has passed on. She apparently tries to get his attention by cheerfully saying hello, but
Yeah,
he
it
runs
does.
away, leaving her behind in her rotting bus. Number 13. No batteries required. A doll that speaks is not mysterious, but a doll that speaks when it has no batteries certainly is. That's apparently exactly what this doll can do. If someone could please tell me what brand of doll this is.
Bruh,
and
I
also
thought that was
translate
creepy.
what is
Like,
being said
if I
here,
was like,
maybe
if I
we
was
can
getting ready to go
help
sleep
solve
and I
this
saw like this
mystery.
creepy doll in my room, like, what the heck is that? I would
They
freaking
examine the doll for a hidden
get my
battery
iPad,
compartment
turn on
and ultimately
flashlight.
find nothing.
See, what is
Number
that?
12.
I turn on the light.
Sky Music. This video was taken in Fort Wayne, Indiana, sometime in 2017. It's really early in the morning when suddenly this strange noise fills the neighborhood.
That doesn't sound like a tornado siren.
I don't think
No, wait, those are
whoever
tornado
recorded
sirens.
This was faking it at all. Put on headphones and listen to how the mysterious noise pans from right to left during this part. That's not easy to fake.
Wow.
One thing that strikes me as strange, however, is how none of his neighbors are outside. Maybe they were too nervous or just didn't want to get wet. Overall, it's probably real.
At 3 in the morning. It's just music in the sky. Storms.
Number 11. Dylan Strange Sounds. A YouTuber named Dylan James TV hears a low metallic humming noise and starts recording.
I don't think it can unless... There, I think that worked. Yeah, I turned off live chat.
Everything from religious warnings to alien technology has been suggested as possible explanations. I'm not sure what it is,
I got it,
but I will say
folks.
that this definitely sounds like some sort of
About to be
mysterious
5 p.m.
buzzing noise.
I gotta
Tell
check
me
the
if
score
you
for the
think
Jags
this
and
sounds like a
see who's
machine or
winning.
something
The Jags
else.
versus the Patriots. Oh, I gotta read. The Jags got 14. Hey, Jags got 14 to nothing. My grandma's going for the New England Patriots. My dad's going for the Jacksonville Jags. So, cheer for the Jags. I'm really hoping the Jacksonville Jaguars win.
Number 10, the snow creature. Two
What is it,
hikers
Rings
are
TV?
alone in the woods when they hear this startling
What is it,
noise.
Rings TV?
My phone's about to die anyway.
There's a couple things that make
You're
me
back?
think
Oh,
that this
okay.
video could be fake upon closer inspection.
Yes,
Listen to what
14.
he says after he hears the noise.
I don't want to be out in that phone. So there it is going through
It's
that.
5 p.m.
I mean, if I had just heard something that was that loud, I don't think I'd ask the person next to me if they heard it too. It seems like an obvious question.
Well, it's
Just went a
yeah.
bit further up.
Hey, Drolan.
Also,
Hello?
sometimes the mysterious sounds don't seem to match
Yeah.
their reactions. Like here, for instance,
Oh.
she asks, "What was that?" when nothing was playing.
Hello?
Sometimes they talk during the noise too, which doesn't seem
I'm on my
realistic
iPad.
because
You can't
most
hear me because
people
probably
would
my mic.
probably stop talking and just listen. Tell me if you agree with this logic or not.
Cowboys? Yeah, I've heard of Cowboys. Yeah. My mic is messed up on my laptop, so I'm doing reaction. Hey. 14 I saw it on the
They are kicking their butt, man.
the Cowboys.
Named Matt J.
Wait, aren't the
is walking
Cowboys
alone one
an
night when
NFL
he
team?
stumbles across something that sounds
Yeah,
so
I don't.
mysterious
The Dallas Cowboys,
that
no.
he
I like
simply has to
Seattle.
start recording.
Seattle.
Some people have
And
pointed
I like
out
the
that this
Jets.
could be some sort of alarm.
You seen the
Why
top
would they make an
15s?
alarm that sounds like something
top
straight
15s
out of a
before?
horror movie is anyone's
It talks
guess.
about what happened. I saw one of them.
What do you mean about what happened? Happened where?
I don't know. It was on YouTube. There was one video of when
I did a search
I
for
believe.
sewer alarms,
Oh yeah,
and none
it was
of them
caught on.
sounded
It
like
was caught on
that.
surveillance
It
camera.
almost sounds like it
Stuff
could be
were like
someone
falling,
pulling
and
a
then they were like
rusty lever
being
or
carried
opening up
with
an
no one
old
in the
door
room.
over and
I'm like,
over
is that
again.
a ghost?
Number 8.
That's strange.
Beneath the grass. Here's another strange sewer
Yeah,
creep
BPJ.
video that's worth mentioning.
Oh, I've seen those sewers before.
Yeah, that.
Okay. Oh my! What kind of noise was it? It's making
I have
bird
no idea
noises.
what is making these high-pitched noises, and apparently neither does this person. The bleeding quiets down and then starts up again. Everything from totes to alarm systems have been proposed, but I have never heard an alarm system that makes that noise, or any other piece of equipment on Earth for that matter. If whatever is making that noise is alive, then I hope they are not suffering. Number 7. Urban noise. A man in an undisclosed city hears this noise and begins
It's a he,
recording.
my friend.
He sounds
His
like
name's
he has
Jordan. It's a he.
anxiety from hearing this noise, and then later in the video, you learn something very strange.
Yet again, I can hear
I've seen strange things like I
echoing
think
sound, that eerie
I
sound
have
again
heard
today.
of strange things before. I don't
So
know.
obviously that has been going on
Oh
for
yeah, at
some
my
time.
school, I believe
However,
it was like this
nobody
weird
else
noise.
around him
I was
seems
like,
to
what
be
is that
upset or
noise?
alarmed from the noise. Maybe
Oh,
this is
a
some
train
kind
station.
of ordinary city sound, and the uploader is pretending to be afraid as a prank. For those of you who have lived in a large city, what is this noise, and why would you hear it on and off for months
NFC
on
or
end?
AFC?
Number
NFC. What's
6,
NFC?
the baby monitor.
They're probably fighting championships. I watch WWE. Well, I'm talking to him on Discord. He has to come to my YouTube to watch it.
This family claims that no matter what kind of baby monitor they have, or what frequency they
That's
change it to,
creepy,
this
dude.
haunting melody always finds its way
I'm
to
sort
their
of starting
child's
to get
ears.
bored.
They even claim that this song has played on baby monitors without the batteries in, though I find that hard to believe. Number 5. The laughter.
January 21st, about 11 p.m. I'm a couple hundred feet from my house, and you hear it going off in the background right now. Kind of sounds weird.
A brave man hears sinister laughter near his house and rushes outside.
Yeah, that's
to
a weird
investigate.
sound.
Maniacal laughter is moving closer to where he is standing now. He stands by the streetlight rather
I gotta go
than
to the
looking
bathroom,
further
guys,
into
but
the
I'll turn off my
darkness on his
cam and I'll let
own.
y'all watch
I was
this.
thinking
I'll
that
probably
this
watch
could
it
be a
through my
simple
iPad.
coyote, but then he says this.
If foxes and coyotes
Turn off
have
the
been around
cam because I
here,
gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be back, guys.
I've heard 'em before, and all of a
But
sudden
y'all
something
still,
remembers
y'all
things
can still
and
watch
just go
that.
crazy
I'll
around
probably
the community.
watch it through my
So
YouTube chat.
apparently, foxes and coyotes have been around this area for a long time, and never have they made these kinds of noises before, meaning that this was probably something different. I also really want to know what he meant when he says that strange things have been happening in his community in November. This video was apparently taken on a reservation in Oregon, but if anyone knows which one, then please let me know so that I can do some further research. Anyway, things seem to be quieting down when all of a sudden shots are fired and an unearthly scream fills the night air.
That is so creepy. That is a creepy
If this
sound.
was not
Imagine
a
if that
fox
happened
or a
to.
coyote, then what
Imagine
could
if that
it
happened in my
possibly have
neighborhood
been?
during the middle of the
Number
night.
4. Tropical Terror. This video was taken somewhere deep in the Philippines. To anyone watching from the Philippines, can you please listen to this and tell me if it sounds like any wildlife you have ever heard? It almost sounds more like a
I'm
machine
gonna go to the
than
bathroom,
a
guys. I'll be
human.
back. I'll let y'all watch that. That is a weird noise.
Take another listen and tell me if you agree. Number 3. Going to church. A YouTuber named Jimmy Camp is walking through the woods when he comes across a white church next to an old graveyard. He walks up to the window and finds everything empty. He is calmly admiring the scenery when suddenly this old melody plays. The music abruptly stops, and Jimmy takes off before he can see who is playing, if anyone. One thing about this video rubs me the wrong way. Jimmy claims that this church is abandoned, but the paint job looks kind of fresh, and the gravel driveway hasn't grown over. I also noticed that someone has swept leaves off the porch, so maybe this was simply a live person playing. Then again, maybe this spirit has also been doing some groundskeeping lately. Number 2. Run. Two adventurous friends are ready to explore an old sewer tunnel, but they don't make it very far before a strange noise makes them turn right around and head back to the light.
Did you hear that?
Right. They escape the tunnel safely, and nothing follows them outside. The obvious answer is that this was some kind of laughing sound effect that they edited in later, but to me it does sound like it was coming from a distance, as if it really was somewhere deeper in the sewer. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills, and I hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you've ever been curious as to what I look like in real life, then follow me on Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT with underscores instead of spaces. I also have a Twitter at YT_chills where I post video updates. I'd really appreciate it if you followed me, and feel free to send me a DM if you have any questions or suggestions. Also, I recently created a subreddit where you can submit videos and stories for future lists. It's r/chillsnarrator, and the link is in the description below. If you'd like to see more of these videos in the future, then hit that subscribe button because I upload a new video every Thursday. If English isn't the only language you speak and you're interested in getting a shout out, click more, then add translations. By translating the video, not only will more people be able to watch it, but a link to your channel will be added in the description. Number 1. The Creature in the Woods. Two grown men are roaming the woods when they come across a creature that's making some very guttural warning noises. Suddenly, something wrapped in baggy robes lunges straight at them. As far as I can tell, only one of them makes it to the car, and then, I don't think it ends well. No other information on this video is available. The following videos have been recorded live, making them much harder, if not impossible, to edit. Half of these people are just doing normal shows that have nothing to do with the spirit world until suddenly a ghost shows up, seemingly out of nowhere. Dash cams are mainly used to protect drivers in court, but every once in a while, they record things that seem to border on the realm of the impossible. Many of the people on this list have stories so outrageous that they would never be believed without some form of video evidence. Number 13. Two friends are having a discussion in a car late one night when something unusual and alarming makes them give pause.
I can see like on the distance limits. Okay, that's a bit scary.
Yeah,
That's a bit scary.
that is very scary.
That's
Alright.
Sitting motionless in the middle of the road is what appears to be a pale, almost translucent child, silently regarding them with a blank, featureless face. The two friends ask no questions and immediately get away from the scene before anything else can happen. They weren't sure what to make of this child at the time, but they later suspect that it was in fact an unfriendly spirit waiting for them. If this is not a paranormal encounter, then I think this child was perhaps being used as a distraction for a highway ambush, so it's a good thing they got out of there instead of leaving their car to investigate. Let me know what you would have done in this situation. Number 12. This police cam footage was taken during a massive wildfire in Sonoma County, California in 2017. Officers are doing what they can to evacuate the public and restore order, but as this brief dashcam video shows, they were up against total chaos at the time.
I just had someone from the fire department in here, and in fact, I asked them, he said, here's unaware of which way the fire is going. They have so many fires, they can't really keep track at this point, and they also cannot answer.
Listen closely, and you'll even hear the dispatcher say that they can't tell which direction the fire is spreading and seems to be genuinely overwhelmed. I have to salute this officer and all of the other brave public officials who willingly charged into a massive blaze to try and help everyone. Number 11. It's a peaceful bus ride in the Russian countryside until the large vehicle finds itself surrounded by a countless number of these winged pests. Everyone inside is terrified as a swarm of gigantic locusts slam into the bus with enough force to rock its heavy-duty suspension system. The sky darkens and the driver and passengers are all helpless as the bus careens through millions upon millions of these oversized bugs, threatening to veer off course if things get much worse. Eventually, they can see the sun and sky again as they come through the other side of the living insect cloud. Everyone is ultimately unharmed, but understandably very alarmed at what they had just witnessed. If the bus had broken down, for example, then they would have been stranded until the never-ending swarm of locusts had passed. Not to mention what would have happened if the windows had broken. Number 10. A police officer in Lincoln, Kentucky is patrolling the streets when he chances upon something quite strange standing in the middle of the road. A tiny figure runs towards his headlights as soon as he gets out of the car to investigate.
Deputy Jeremy Gatney of the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office was on a routine patrol when his headlights shone across something running towards him.
The officer is surprised to find a small child standing in the middle of the road without any adults nearby. He instinctively picks the toddler up, and just moments later, a Mack truck plows by very close to where the child was first spotted. It's a good thing the police officer saw the child first, because I doubt the driver of the tall truck would have noticed until it was too late. Apparently, the child had wandered out the front door of his home when no one was looking and took off down the busy road. The family was extremely relieved to have their child back, and fortunately they were not charged with neglect. Number 9. This YouTuber is fairly sure that he's captured a ghost on his dash cam when he's traveling down a suburban road and sees reflective lights on the right. Watch the parked car on the right to see what I mean.
Yeah.
I personally think it looks like someone could be stepping into his line of movement here. It happens quickly, so I'll play it again in slow motion. Let me know if you see it. But when he pulls up to where the lights were, he and his friends are surprised to find nothing's there.
Where did it go? They walked in front of the car, right?
Yeah, it was like a wheelchair or something.
Both of them swear they saw the lights and thought someone was crossing the street. I guess his headlights could have been reflecting off of the parked car, but then again, the angle doesn't exactly seem to match up. Let me know if you see it and what you think it could have been. Number 8. A gigantic streak of lightning in Paducah, Kentucky was so large that it was caught by 2 different police dash cams. The first police car was far away, and its dashcam footage shows just how long this massive lightning bolt was, and the second police car was much, much closer.
If you could go back through it. Well, 2 reasons. One, it would be...
The lightning bolt directly hit a nearby residence. Fortunately, everyone inside was alright, but this particular officer will never forget how close he came to being charred alive. Number 7. A Russian driver is having a casual conversation behind the wheel when suddenly his thoughts are interrupted by a bizarre and unexpected change of events. large cement truck just a few cars ahead of them literally plunges below the asphalt as a gigantic sinkhole forms underneath its back tires. The cement truck driver soon comes out and surveys what just happened, but there's little for him to do. If anything, he and everyone else should be hurrying to get away from the sinkhole instead of casually observing it. I don't know what happened next, but hopefully the sinkhole did not grow any larger and everyone made it out okay. Number 6. This electrifying event occurred in May of 2017 on the northeastern side of Shenyang City. A white-hot light showers the street with sparks, but it's not from a blown transformer or downed power lines. A bolt of lightning has cracked the asphalt with the type of raw power that only nature can generate. It's a good thing that this street was lined with trees instead of power lines, or else this dashcam video would have almost certainly looked a whole lot worse. Number 5. This dashcam footage was taken on a busy road somewhere in India. Nothing looks out of the ordinary until a tiny object performs a bizarre aerial maneuver while hovering above the road. The saucer-shaped object appears to somehow stop and change directions mid-flight. Somehow, none of the oncoming motorists in the other lane seem to notice, which I think is odd, but maybe it all happened too fast for them to see. If not, then I think this dashcam video might be a fake, but I'm curious to hear your opinion. Number 4. A YouTuber named Alyssa Cross is driving down a local road somewhere in the south when she comes across a person who she has never seen before acting quite strangely by the side of the road. You can hear the nervousness in Alyssa's voice as she and her friend agree that it looks like this person could have some sort of strange virus, zombie or not. One can only wonder how many other viral outbreaks began in this exact same casual style of conversation. It appears that if that's not the case, then this person is under the influence of something strong. Alyssa quietly drives past and leaves the stranger behind. Number 3. This mysterious dashcam footage was taken somewhere in Europe years ago and has been stumping YouTubers across the world ever since. When this car takes a left, you can clearly see that all of the other cars in the opposite lane are at a full stop. In other words, there's absolutely no incoming traffic. Then all of a sudden this happens. The car is suddenly cut off by a second car that appears seemingly out of nowhere. Keep in mind that 2 other cars were making a right at the same time, and at no point does there appear to be any space for this ghost car to squeeze through. I've watched this video over a dozen times and still have no explanation, so help me out if you have any idea how this happened. Number 2. Ronald Wiley was driving down a long stretch of road in West Virginia when suddenly no less than 7 trees simultaneously fall nearly on him. In his blue pickup truck, he's stunned for a moment and then quickly throws the vehicle in reverse because there are live power lines near that look like they could give way at any moment if Ronald had been going just a little bit faster, or if the trees were growing literally just a few inches to the left. Then he no doubt would have been caught in the middle of this and been a goner for sure. Instead of this outcome, he somehow makes it with only minor damage to a windshield wiper. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying my narration. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. I'm currently doing a super poll on my Instagram. If you believe ghosts are real, then go to my most recent photo and tap the like button. If you don't, DM me saying why. When you're done, come right back to this video to find out the number 1 entry. Also, follow me on Twitter at YTChills because that's where I post video updates. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person. So if you're generous enough to hit that subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. This way, you'll be notified of the new videos I upload every Thursday and Sunday. Number 1. It's late at night in the Russian Urals when suddenly the atmosphere itself becomes unrecognizable. A brilliant flash of reddish-yellow light intensifies for a full 15 seconds before dissolving back into darkness as if nothing had happened. Scientists have been able to give no explanation for this occurrence, though this looks like it could possibly be a blast in my opinion. Give me your best guess or let me know if you agree. Either way, this dazzling and silent light show is one of the craziest things I've seen on dashcam by far. Surveillance systems are supposed to keep you secure, but all too often this feeling of extra safety is simply just an illusion. Bad things can always happen in an instant, and during these types of situations, all a surveillance system can do is document the scary events as they unfold. The legend of Slenderman has many different origins, but it always involves a long-limbed, faceless creature with a penchant for business suits and eating kids. Though just an internet urban legend, most of the people on this list say they thought he was just a myth until they saw him up close. Number 12. Two friends are making a random video on a trampoline somewhere out in the countryside. They appear to be all alone until a tall stranger in a business suit steps out from behind a shed and leers at them. The two friends quickly bolt in the opposite direction, and we don't get to see what happens next, so it's hard to say if this was a prank or not. One thing I noticed was how Slenderman's head comes up to the roof of the shed. This places him at about 7 or 8 feet tall, which is about the same size as the legends say. Then again, I guess it could have been a friend standing on something to give themselves more height. Number 11. A student is doing some schoolwork on his computer when somebody comes in and starts recording. They have a short conversation that's interrupted by a large figure standing in the darkened doorway behind them. The creature's head almost touches the ceiling, and its arms are so gigantic and long that they don't even fully fit in the camera frame. Its arms look long enough to pluck them from the couch and drag them to their doom. Fortunately for them, the two friends get away just in time and take off. They glance back for a moment only to find Slenderman silently regarding them from the top of the stairs. Now that you've seen this on video, I'm eager to hear if you think this was a real Slenderman sighting or just someone in a really good costume. Number 10. I'm not sure where this short video comes from, but it's probably somewhere in Europe since they are driving on the left side of the road. The driver is traveling at a decent rate of speed when suddenly Slenderman descends upon them. It could just be a weird camera angle, but Slenderman looks extremely tall and lanky here. His limbs almost look too long to belong to a person. He's roughly half as tall as the light post he's standing next to, so to me this is either a mannequin or the real thing. Number 9. A YouTuber named Travis Andrew Barker and his brother were watching the movie Titanic one day when his brother noticed someone in the background who looked completely out of place. Travis wasn't sure if his brother was just messing with him, but as it turns out, he was telling the truth after all.
If you can see right there, we pause the movie and there's Jack and there's Rose. If you look back there, you'll see the Slenderman.
I honestly can't say that I've seen this movie that many times, so I'm not sure how legitimate this sighting is. If you are familiar with the movie and recognize this scene, then please let me know what is going on here and explain who this mysterious background character is. If nobody can come forward with details, then this very well may be the first Slenderman sighting in a Hollywood movie. Number 8. A YouTuber named Loathfan hears a knock at 4:30 in the morning. This has been going on for quite a while, and he's finally had enough, so he grabs his camera and heads out. He films the outside scenery for a bit and catches nothing but crickets chirping under a night sky, or so he thinks. looks at the video later and notices a small white face peering back at him from the shadows. Both Van is now convinced that this is proof of how Slenderman stalks him and haunts his dreams at night. I'm curious as to whether or not you think someone was really there, or if this all sounds made up. Number 7. A YouTuber named Scaredy Cat thinks he saw a tall stranger rummaging around his property, so he goes into his house and grabs a phone to record with. He cautiously makes his way back to where he last spotted the intruder, and it isn't long before he finds him again. Actually, this time, it looks like Scaredy Cat is the one who is discovered instead of the other way around.
So I'm not sure. I'm going to try and capture it on tape now. Okay.
A humanoid creature appears to be staring directly at him while remaining completely motionless. Scaredy Cat goes running down the street screaming for his life. His reaction sounds pretty genuine, but I'm not sure if this was a real sighting or not. It almost looks like a mannequin that someone could have put out there as a joke. Maybe it could even be an impersonator running around pretending to be the real thing. It just doesn't seem to be the right height to be Slenderman, though some legends say that the creature can change its height at will. Number 6. This deer is eating some corn when suddenly it looks up as if something is approaching. The camera jumps ahead and barely manages to catch this strange fleeting movement.
Hey guys, I'm back.
On the right side of the screen.
That's a deer.
The shadowy figure
back,
has
guys.
everyone talking about the possibility of Slenderman, who
That was a
apparently has been
deer.
rumored to be in this forest for years. It kind of looks like it might be wearing a business suit and has an all-white head completely devoid of all features, but it's hard to tell for sure. Number 5. A YouTuber named Frostbitten looks out his window one evening and sees what he thinks is Slenderman peering up at him from below.
Burger King foot lettuce. What?
You can see it much better when he moves away from the screen door.
Oh, crap.
Bro, that's like so.
I do see what he's talking
Play
about.
Roblox, okay.
So do some other viewers
I'll probably
in
do a
the
live
comments
stream later
section.
too.
I can't tell for sure, but it looks like something with a pale head and long arms might be looking up at him. I can't really make out if it's wearing a suit or standing behind the tree. Then again, maybe this human-like shape is simply light reflecting off of the woods. Let me know if you can see what Frostbitten is talking about.
Sure, you
and
can
if
play
you
Roblox.
agree with him or not. Number 4. Imagine going out for a relaxing day on the beach and seeing this mysterious figure
A girl told
walking
you,
just a couple of miles
told
away.
you she liked you. Well, you can like on Roblox. Well, what's her name? What's her name on Roblox?
This tall man with a bright white head and all black clothes walks towards the water as if nothing is out of the ordinary. I will add that this area looks pretty lonely, and there's really no reason for anybody to dress up like Slenderman as a prank here. It's too bad the person filming wasn't able to get any closer, though I can certainly respect their desire to keep as much space as possible.
Well, XX Bacon, what's her name on Roblox?
This surveillance footage looks like it was taken on an academic campus of some sort. The security camera is glitching out and skipping frames, which is supposed to be a clear indication that Slenderman is near. Look closely here, and you can see a transparent
On Q Diamond
upper
emoji?
left.
Well,
Then,
you
without
can
warning,
ask her as a
figure
friend or
suddenly
as a
looming over
girlfriend.
young boy. Slenderman yanks
As
the
a
boy
friend
high into the air
or
by
a
both
girlfriend
arms,
on
and then
Roblox.
the video quickly cuts off. I notice in the bottom right corner that this camera was marked Camera 01, but I wasn't able to find footage from any of the other cameras. If somebody recognizes this location, then maybe we can do some more precise investigating and get to the bottom of this mysterious sighting. Number 2. A group of friends are recording themselves lifting weights and basically just joking around in a small gym. The situation suddenly becomes very serious when one of them leaves the room and then comes rushing back to bang on the glass for help.
Say he ain't gonna pick you up.
4.
No way. What? What is he? What are you doing?
A tentacle-like appendage seems to wrap around their friend's waist and pulls him away. The group goes outside and searches for their friend Nathan, but he has vanished. Then another friend goes missing too.
I could count.
Oh.
The two survivors run back into the building to talk about what just happened.
Friends, oh.
One of them is in complete denial and thinks that they are simply being pranked. They are talking about whether this is really happening or not, when suddenly their worst fears are confirmed.
You're not laughing at this? This is crazy. This is hilarious. That's nasty. That's nasty.
Well, there is a strong possibility that this could be CGI. The uploader has not come out and said that this was a short
It's
film.
fake.
Instead, they insist it's real. Most of the people in the comments section agree that this is authentic, but I definitely like to hear what you think. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills, and I hope you're enjoying my narration. If you're
I'm
curious
starting to
about
get a
what I
bit
look like
more.
in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. I'm currently doing a super poll on my Instagram. If you believe ghosts are real,
Ghosts aren't
go to
real.
my most recent photo and tap the like button. If you don't, DM me saying why. When you're done, come right back to this video to find out the number 1 entry. Chills merch is now available, and I'm
What
gifting
should you
viewers
say?
who spend over $100 with a
trying to
100%
see.
free foot lettuce t-shirt to show my appreciation. This offer won't last forever, so get yours by visiting chillsmerch.com. Also, follow me on Twitter at YT_chills, because that's where I post video updates. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person. So if you're generous enough to hit that subscribe button and the bell beside it,
Maybe I think you should
this way
tell
you'll be
her.
notified of the new
Maybe
video
okay,
I upload
I'll.
every Thursday.
You can tell her
Number
I
1.
like you, one of friends
Friends
too.
are riding
See how
around
that
in the
works out.
country when they come across an old house that gives off a strange feeling. They have nothing better to do, so they decide to investigate the old wooden structure in search of adventure. They are still outside of the house when their camera starts to mess up, a clear sign that Slenderman is near. They don't think much of the electronic disturbance and continue to poke around the perimeter. Eventually, they find a doorless entrance and step inside. That's when things go terribly wrong. Something bad seems to have wrecked this house. It's trash from the inside, and a part of it has collapsed in ruins. They aren't in there for long before they decide they've seen enough and want to leave. But when they go for the exit, something goes for them. Slenderman reaches for them, and the sound cuts out on the camera as they scramble for a different exit. They barely make it out alive. According to many believers, this still frame is the closest anyone's ever come to capturing Slenderman's true form. Your shadow follows you wherever you go, and perhaps other shadows do too. As you watch these videos of shadows creeping across walls and floors, I challenge you to try and find their point of origin. You'll quickly find that it's not so easy. Number 15. The Arctic Sea Monsters. Even skeptics are having trouble questioning the reliability of the source of this video. Workers of the Alaskan Bureau of Land Management were in a helicopter to survey an area over
That was like
the
an
Chino
alligator.
River when something unexpected caught their eye. To their shock, a large, serpent-looking thing was filmed slithering through the water in an intelligent way. The object was predicted to be around 15 feet long and sway back and forth through the water in a manner similar to the way fish and sea snakes swim.
You're like, okay.
Not much of the creature's features are visible, as most of it is underwater and the remainder is partially frozen with ice. Experts believe the object is a large rope caught on debris moving with the river flow, while people believe it is an Arctic sea monster, possibly related to the Loch Ness monster. While a seemingly eccentric idea, a similar creature was captured in Iceland by a local resident investigating claims of a strange monster swimming in the lakes and rivers around his home. Viewers of both videos have observed the similarities in movement and shape of both creatures, believing them to be the same species or related. The oceans are so vast, and we have barely discovered a sliver of the entire area, meaning the possibility of undiscovered species much more credible. For all we know, these sea serpents could simply be another animal to add to the chain. Number 14. Imaginary friend. For unknown reasons, children seems to be better at seeing and communicating with ghosts than adults are. In February 2012, a woman named Diane uploaded a video of her young son talking gibberish to nobody. He also makes several physical displays of being playful and genuinely
I might just play Rolls. I'm starting to get bored watching this.
Who are you talking to?
When Avery asks who he is talking to, the child again answers in gibberish. When reviewing the video after, she was baffled to discover upon her fourth time asking, a voice is heard in the audio whispering Ryan. It's hard to hear, but if you listen closely, there is definitely a male voice saying something along those lines.
Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?
In another mysterious incident, two girls were sitting at their play table eating. While one of the girls' mothers filmed, suddenly the friend became distressed and began crying, while clearly seeing something in the empty room in front of her. Eventually, she got up and walked away, still crying. While the woman attempted to understand what was going on, her daughter looked behind her and began staring at something. Without warning, she lets out a chilling scream before fleeing behind her mother.
Turn around. Turn around. But you gotta listen to me. Turn around. Look at me. What's the matter?
She went from laughing at her friend to being scared of whatever the both of them saw. Unfortunately, nothing is clearly noticeable on the video, but the girls' reactions are too realistic to be faked. Something clearly scared them badly. So far, no other videos have been released by the woman, and it is left to viewers' speculation as to what was seen or if any further events happened after. Any of our viewers with children, if you see your child speaking to someone, or they're suddenly afraid without explanation, think twice before dismissing it as their imagination. Number 13. The cops' footage. This video comes from a man named Ted, who doesn't reveal his last name. He claims to have been on the force since 1983 and was responding to a call in Delray, which is part of Detroit. But by the time he arrived, the situation had been resolved. On his way to leave, he began hearing strange noises coming from a neighboring house. Upon investigating, he began recording with his cell phone as he was in disbelief of the noises he was hearing. Ted called out to see if anyone was in the badly burnt home and caught someone or something on tape in the window for just a split second.
With the Force, you learn to trust your gut, to trust yourself, and I was jeopardizing my safety.
He did not enter the house, but found newspaper clippings in the backyard about the Delray witch, a woman who took 12 men's lives for the insurance money. The officer did some research online and found other reports of strange occurrences happening in Delray. The question that needs to be answered now is, was that person in the window a squatter or the Witch of Delray? Number 12. The Pyramid Ransom. The pyramids of Egypt are considered to be marvels of world construction and are the last remaining wonders of the ancient world still intact. There are various theories regarding how they were built and what their actual purpose was. Of course, we have all learned that they were used as large tombs for the ancient pharaohs and housed the mummified rulers of ancient Egypt, as well as various gifts and ceremonial objects to help their spirits. However, access inside the Great Pyramids are strictly minimalized in order not to damage what's inside and for safety considering the age the pyramids are in. A few years ago, an anonymous man uploaded a video to YouTube.
Those pyramids are real. They're in Egypt.
An RC car complete with a mounted camera. The man then is shown en route to what appears to be Egypt. He ventures the Great Pyramids, unloads the RC car, and drives it into a hole protruding from the structure. The car ventures down further and further along narrow passageway, even encountering some static interference. Before any major reveal is shown, it cuts to text, stating he had failed in his original mission, but claims now has specific information.
Shut down for copyright.
The pyramids. He also warns others of doing the
What?
same.
How was it copyright? I don't know.
$5 million to not reveal what he had discovered, but since then, nothing new has come of the video, and the uploader remains unknown. It has been widely speculated to either be a hoax. However, others have speculated
I think I should stop.
that he did indeed find something, and he was taken out or actually paid and kept his word. It is likely we'll never know what the man found, if anything, and if there really is an alternative use of the pyramids we are not meant to know about. Number 11. The ghostly EVP. During ghost time.
Okay, guys, I'm going to stop the stream right here because it said it's been suspended. So I'm going to stop the stream. I'm going to do a Roblox stream, so yeah, I'll be back.